The lights die in Alexandra Community Hall. For a heartbeat, the whole room holds its breath. Then 1,000 phone torches bloom like stars. On a makeshift runway, a line of learners steps forward in crisp uniforms, each one stitched with bold patches where tears once lived. Even the DJ goes quiet. Even the kids who laugh drop their phones. A screen at the back ticks up in soft blue numbers. Rolled 117,850. Rolled 118,200. Rolled 120,000 rolled. At the end of the line, a girl in a blazer everyone knows, the one they called torn, cheap, embarrassing, walks into the light. The patch on her chest isn't hiding the rip anymore. It's the design. People thought they knew her story because they saw a frayed edge. Maybe you felt that too. How a small tear can feel louder than your voice. How a price tag decides your place before you even say your name. Tonight, the room will run out of words. But it didn't start with silence. It started with a joke, a video, and a jacket that wouldn't let her disappear. Ready? Let's go back to where the thread begins.
African Karma Stories.
4 weeks earlier. Morning slips over Alexandra in a thin gold line. Naledi Mukwena ties her laces, smooths her school skirt, and runs a thumb along the seam she fixed last night. The blazer is clean, but frayed at the cuff, a neat patch stitched where a pocket used to tear. It is the kind of detail most people don't see, until they decide it's all they can see. Outside, taxis hoot and conductors call, "Sandton, Sandton." Naledi counts coins twice. A return fare is the price of lunch and data for the week. She tucks the change under her phone cover and steps into the queue. Inside the taxi, windows fog and voices lair. Work, school, prayer. Naledi threads a needle and catches a loose button before it falls. The man beside her glances at the quick hands and nods. Sandton's glass rises beyond Marlborough. The school gates sit behind a neat hedge, jacaranda shadows like purple stains on the pavement. Learners stream in, blazers crisp, shoes shining. A ring light flashes by the entrance. Amale Dlamini, queen of the feed, frames herself and laughs with a cluster of friends. "First day of the week, babes," she says into her camera, gloss catching the light. Naledi keeps left, head high, bag close. A whisper trails her. "Shame, look at that jacket." Another, "She's the scholarship girl from Alex, right?" She has heard it before, from people who think neat stitches are a concession. She thinks of Gogo's words. If you can mend it, you can wear it. By the hall, Tabo Kumalo adjusts the tripod for the media club. He clocks the patch on the lady's blazer, then looks at her face instead. "Morning," he offers. She nods back, grateful for a greeting that doesn't flinch. Mrs. Naidu stepped out of the staff room with a stack of notice boards. Her eyes are sharp but kind. "You did that by hand?" she asks, pointing to the blazer. Naledi hesitates, then nods. "Clean work," she says, filing the thought away. "We have a sewing lab. Come see it sometime." The bell rings. The quad gathers to a ripple of chatter on today's program. A Charity Cities Day, a prefect election, a reminder about uniform standards. Phones tilt upward as Amali pivots for another video. Angled perfect, laughter polished. Her lens glances past Naledi, then stops. Vintage is back, hey? Someone snorts nearby. A few faces turn, hungry for the joke. Nalili keeps breathing. She counts 3 in, 4 out, the way she does in math tests and crowded taxis. She tells herself the same thing she tells herself every morning. Finish matric. Keep your dignity. Don't let one tear pronounce your name. The principal taps the mic. Quiet, please. The speakers hiss. A breath lifts the edge of Naledi's patch, and a phone locks onto it, recording. Somewhere in the feed, a caption is already writing itself. What happens when it lands on every screen in school? And someone has already pressed upload. That evening in Alexandra, the house smells of onions softening in oil and the faint metal tang of a well-used sewing machine. Gogo Tumdi's vintage singer sits by the window like a small black car, its gold decals rubbed smooth by years of hands. A printout of the load-shedding schedule is stuck to the wall with tape. Stage 4 tonight. Lights out at 8. Naledi slips in, drops her bag on the chair with the missing slat, and carefully unbuttons her blazer. She lays it flat on the table, as if it's a photograph that could smudge. Gogo wipes her hands on a dish towel and tilts her head. Yebo Ngwanaka, let me see. Her fingers trace the patch at the pocket. Straight stitch, even tension. Ay, this child, your hands are telling the truth. On the fridge is a small jar with R2 and R5 coins and a paper label that says taxi. Naledi tips the coins into her palm, counts, and tips them back. Around 20 rand each way to Sandton, about 200 by Friday if nothing goes wrong. That's the math she lives with, the kind that doesn't need a calculator, just courage and coins. Her phone buzzes with a voice note from her mother at the hospital, the sound of Charlie's in the background, a tired smile tucked into every word. My girl, I'm on nights again. Kiss Gogo for me. I'll send what I can on Thursday. Don't stress about little things. God is seeing. Naledi saves the message twice, once in the cloud and once in her chest. At the table, Gogo threads a needle by feel. How was school? She asks, not looking up. Naledi shrugs, the safe answer. Fine. She hesitates, then adds, They announced Sivi's Day for Friday, 30 rand to dress down. Best dressed gets a shout-out on the school page. She says it lightly, but the words land with weight. 30 rand is not just a coin, it's today's taxi or tomorrow's bread. If you grow up here, you know the quiet cost of these small days. The way a fun fee can turn into an X on a calendar for a child who can't pay. The way you'd rather wear the same blazer every day than stand out in the wrong way. Sometimes missing out isn't about choice. It's about not making the rest of the month crack. I can wear my uniform, Naledi says, half to herself. It's neat. Gogo nods. Neat is always fashion, man. She taps the patch. This is a story. Why hide a story? Naledi smiles. A thought has been growing since Mrs. Naidu's comment. What if patches weren't shame? What if they were design? She opens the cupboard and pulls out a plastic bag of old uniform pieces, neighbors dropped off over the years. A too short skirt, a jersey with holes at the elbows, a blazer missing buttons. Maybe we can make 2 good kits from all these, she says. And on Mandela's Day, we could do 67 minutes of sewing at the community hall. Ask people to bring what they don't use. Upcycle. Give full uniforms to the grade 8s who skip school from embarrassment. Gogo watches her granddaughter's face light up, a small sun in the small kitchen. Aye, Bo, that's a plan. 1 jacket can make 2 if you cut with love.
The lights blink once, twice, and then the house exhales into darkness. The fridge goes quiet. Outside, someone whistles to a child. Gogo strikes a match, cups the flame, and lights a paraffin lamp. Shadows stand up on the walls. Load shedding is supposed to be an inconvenience, but here it's a rhythm. Dinner prep by candle, homework by torch, sewing by memory and muscle. Naledi sets the lamp near the singer and threads her own needle. The cloth is rough, donated, but stubborn in a good way. She marks a seam with chalk, uses a brown grocery bag as pattern paper, and starts a line of tight, even stitches that climb the fabric like a careful path. If we do 10 pieces a week until Mandela's Day, we can have at least 40 kids. She measures possibilities in centimeters. Her phone buzzes again. A message from Lindiwe. Babe, don't panic. You're on the feed. Naledi swallows, opens the link. A freeze frame of her blazer fills the screen. The patch zoomed in like a crime scene. The comments are already gathering like a storm on the horizon. Ah, people, Gogo mutters, reading her face more than the phone. Don't let their thumbs tell your story. Ink and thread no better. Now that it locks the screen, lets the sting pass through and out. She turns the blazer inside out, studies the lining. The patch is strong. Her stitches hold. She imagines the same patch, bigger, bolder, on a line of uniforms, walking on the light. If they're going to stare, let them stare at the work. Another pin. The school's page has shared the video. Tomorrow is the Civies Day announcement in assembly. Nalheli looks at the taxi jar, at the paraffin lamps trembling hello, at the pile of cloths waiting to be remade. There isn't enough for everything. Something has to give. She threads a fresh needle and breathes, the decision sitting between her and the dark like a third person at the table, waiting to be named.
The next morning, the quad fills like a tide. Gray blazers, navy skirts, polished shoes. Banners flap above the stage. Civies Day, Friday, R30, and prefect elections next week. A prefect tests the mic. Phones away, please. Phones stay up anyway. Naledi stands near the back, shoulder against a pillar, backpack at her feet. She has chosen neat over noise. Uniform pressed, patch smoothed, hair tied back. Choosing not to pay for civies on Friday feels small and big at the same time. R30 is a taxi ride you can't get back. Amale arrives in a ribbon of perfume and camera flashes, friends orbiting like satellites. She angles her phone just so, voice honey sweet. Okay, babes, quick fit check before assembly. If your blazer's crispy, you're welcome. Laughter tumbles forward like coins on tile. The principal steps up. Good morning, learners. Brief announcements. The sound crackles. Wind hushes the jacaranda leaves. Reminder, uniform standards, please. And Friday's civies is optional. Funds go to the food drive. Heads nod, eyes drift, screens glow. As the crowd breaks for class, Amale takes her show to the stairs. 2 minutes, we're doing in or out uniform edition. Her ring light clicks on. She waves a prefect over, teases his tie, declares it in. She spins to her circle, points at a scuffed shoe, calls it out. Then her camera tilts, finds Naledi like a magnet finds a nail. Ah, here we go, Amale purrs. We love a DIY queen. She zooms on the patch at Naledi's pocket. This is very humble, very grade 4 arts and culture. Did you borrow the needle from your go-go? A ripple of laughter. Someone whistles.
Someone else lifts a phone to catch a wider angle because public moments taste better on camera. Nalade feels heat climb her neck. There's a kind of silence inside a crowd where every sound is about you and none of it is yours. She could slip away. She doesn't. She smooths the patch once, then looks at Amale and says, "Steady. I borrowed the needle from myself, and I'll keep it." A few chuckles break the rule book and turn into coughs. One girl blinks, surprised, because the line lands softer than a slap and somehow stings more. Thabo watches from the media club tripod. His camera's pointed at the stage, not at the stairs. He hears the joke, hears the crowd's appetite, but his finger stays off the record button. Being neutral feels safer than being brave, for now. Mrs. Naidu steps between bodies, catching the tail end of the exchange. She takes Nalade's sleeve, gentle but direct. "May I?" She inspects the inside of the seam like a jeweler checks a clasp. Even spacing, reinforced at stress points. She glances up, voice low. "You could do more with this than survive a joke." Nalade breathes out. "I've been thinking about it. Mandela Day, 67 minutes at the Alexandra Community Hall. Upcycle Drive, Uniform Bank, we could make full kits for grade 8s whom stay home from embarrassment." Mrs. Nader's eyes flick to the principal, to the safety officer, to the sea of phones. "Walk with me," she says. In the admin corridor, Harrison lights hum. A corkboard lists policies: fire, after-hours use, visitor sign-in. The deputy head listens, pen tapping a rhythm. "It's a strong idea, Nalede," he says, "but we can't open the lab after hours without a staff member, and we can't host at a hall without permits, a safety plan, and a responsible adult on record. Put it on paper. Costs, timeline, volunteers. Bring it by Friday." Friday. The same day as Civvies, the same week, her blazer is trending for the wrong reason. Back in the quad, the bell splits the air. Learners spill in every direction. Bianca, Amale's shadow, scrolls and snorts. "Guys, look! Someone made a filter. Patch check. The filter sticks a cartoon patch over any blazer on camera. The caption reads, 'Show us your stitches.'" It's mean and catchy, the kind of thing that jumps from phone to phone faster than facts. Malade's screen pains. The video from yesterday, her patch under a stranger's thumb, has migrated to the school's unofficial meme page. The comments feel like tiny stones thrown from far away. "Shame. Respect the hustle, though. My mom can fix that. Just buy a new one, man." As if just is a button you press and money appears. She looks at Thabo across the quad. He looks back, a question in his eyes. He doesn't ask out loud. He could post a different clip. He could look away. He hesitates, then lifts a hand in a small salute. It's nothing. It's something. Mrs. Naidu returns to class with a folder of workbooks and a single line left in the air. "Bring me a plan." Nalade nods even though the teacher has already gone. The stairwell still holds the scent of Amale's perfume and the echo of laughter that doesn't belong to her. On her way to Mass, Nalade passes a notice board covered in glassy posters for debating, hockey, orchestra. She imagines a new one pinned there. "Upcycle the Future, Mandela Day, volunteers needed." She can see the front. She can see the hall. She can almost hear the machines. Then her phone vibrates again. A new clip is climbing fast. "Civvies Day preview. Who should we crown?" The thumbnail is a freeze frame of her face beside a cartoon patch. The poll closes at lunch. The whole school is watching, fingers ready. Malade presses her palm flat over the blazer pocket, feeling the strength of her stitches through the fabric, and wonders which story will win first, the laughter or the work.
If you don't have money to start, you start with whoever sells thread. After school, Naledi and Lindiwe cut through 12th Avenue, Alexandra. Oil hisses at a quota stand, a taxi hoots twice, and someone calls, "Sharp, sharp!" Pan Africa Mall glints ahead. Tucked beside a cell phone repair kiosk is Mr. Patel's place, a narrow shop with a hand-painted sign, alterations, keys, haberdashery. Spools of cotton crowd the window like a rainbow in plastic. A bell tings. Mr. Patel looks up over half-moon glasses. "Heish, Tandi's granddaughter," he says, recognizing the lady in a heartbeat. "Your go-go still so straighter than my ruler." "We're trying to make full uniforms," Naledi says, hands open, nerves hidden behind purpose. "Upcycle drive for Mandela Day. 67 minutes. We need offcuts, buttons, elastic, anything clean and strong." He taps the counter. "Show me your stitch." Naledi pulls out her blazer, turns back the pocket edge. He inspects the seam like a jeweler. A beat, then a small nod. "Clean hand. Okay. Offcut bins are by the back. Take what you can carry, leave what you can't." He points to needle cases. Size 11 for lightweight, 14 for uniform twill. Don't force a dull needle. It will punish you. If you've ever tried to start something with almost nothing, you know the first step isn't buying, it's asking. And the second step is listening to people who've done this 1,000 times. Lindiwe kneels by a crate of fabric ends, navy twill, gray suiting, a roll of white bias binding. Naledi sorts by texture, checks grain, feels for stretch. Mr. Patel adds a handful of sturdy buttons. "These are orphans. No one loves them. You give them a home." He slides a packet of elastic across. "Pay me when you can, or pay me in updates. I want to see your tally." "How much for interfacing?" Naledi asks. "For you, R0 today," he says, pretending to frown. "But you will bring me a poster for my window." They weigh a sack of offcuts. The scale squeaks. 2 kilos. That's at least 4 blazers worth of patches if you cut smart. He eyes a dusty domestic sewing machine on a shelf. "I can loan the spare for your event, but you'll need a multi-plug and patience. Load shedding doesn't respect the lead." "Thabo's working on power," Naledi says, more confident than she feels. Outside, they swing by a spaza to ask for empty boxes. The owner hands over 3 at a marker. "Right side is big, he advises. They label them small, medium, large. Cardboard becomes infrastructure. The walk becomes a plan. At Pan Africa Mall's uniform shop, price tags lie in a wall like quiet warnings. Shirts 120 rand. Trousers 250 rand. Blazers 450 rand. Shoes 300 rand. A full kit can tip 850 rand before you breathe. Naledi notes the numbers, jaw set. "We'll aim for at least 50 kits." Lindiwe whistles low. "Sure, aim high then." On a bench outside, Naledi opens a notebook. "Upcycle the Future, 67 minutes." She sketches a timeline. Call for donations, collect, sort by size, wash, repair, assemble kits, stage day of runway to honor donors and learners, distribute. Roles. Lindiwe handles sign-in and refreshments. Mr. Patel provides on-site repair station. Mrs. Naitu should provide for youth volunteers.
Falbor Films sets up a QR code. Councilor Maposa approves the hall and safety plan. Costs: thread, needles, transport, cleaning, snacks. She circles flight day. Proposal due. 2 days. If you've ever put your name on a big promise, you know the fear that comes with the first date on the calendar. Deadlines don't care how brave you felt at the counter. As they stand, Naleta's phone vibrates. A new message request on Instagram. Profile: Ubuntu Outfitters SA. Bio: local brand, schoolwear, CSR. She opens it. Hi Naleli, we saw your patchwork video and heard about your Mandela Day idea from a teacher who follows us. If you can deliver 50 full kits to verified learners and show a clear plan, permits, budget, distribution lists, we'll match community donations up to 20,000 Rand. Deadline to confirm Monday, 5 p.m. Can you send proof by then? Lindawave reached over her shoulder, eyes wide. Yo, is this real? Naledi's heart thumps in her ears. Proof, permits, budget, by Monday. Offcuts suddenly feel lighter and heavier at the same time. She looks back toward Mr. Town's doorway, toward the mall's uniform prices, toward Alexandra Community Hall and her mind. What counts as proof when all you have is stitches and 4 days to turn them into trust?
Views are loud. Value is quiet. But if you need money by Monday, you have to make both speak. After last bell, Tabo waves Naledi into the media club room. Really, just a corner with a green cloth and 2 ring lights. We're shooting a mini-doc, he says, already switching his phone to 916. No fancy gear, real story, real speed. He scribbles a title on a whiteboard. Upcycle the Future, 67 minutes. Beneath it, R850, approximately 1 full kit. They start with hands. Naledi's needle up close, the thread catching light. Cut to Gogo's vintage singer humming in the lounge, paraffin lamp glowing. Cut to Mr. Patel weighing off offcuts. Cut to the price wall at the uniform shop. Shirts, trousers, blazers, shoes. The edit stacks contrasts. Alex streets, scent and glass, a patch, a poster, a laugh, a stitch, until you can feel the why without a single lecture. If you grew up here, you know, a tiny tear can feel louder than your voice, but a uniform that fits, that's attendance, that's dignity. He adds a QR code screen that flashes scan to donate with SnapScan and BankKey FT options, a ticker, 85 Rand buys a shirt, 250 Rand buys trousers, 450 Rand buys a blazer, 850 Rand buys a full kit. They push the first clip at 7 p.m. Naledi posts to Instagram Reels and TikTok. Tab out cross-post to the school's official page, risking a DM from a cautious deputy. Airy numbers trickle in. 187 views in 10 minutes, 42 shares by bedtime. Comments from teachers in Tembisia, a church group in Alexandria, a cousin in Durban. How can we crop off clean uniforms? Can we volunteer on Mandela Day? It's not viral. It's not nothing. Then Amale pivots. A story drops from her glossy grid. Big announcement, babes. Collab with Sabella Streetwear. Friday reveal. Real quality, real fashion. Let's leave DIY for art class. The frame shows a stylized blazer with metallic trim and a tagline, if you know, you know. Followers flood her with flame emojis. Someone adds a side-by-side. Naleli's patch versus a runway shot. Caption, copycat. The post is slick. The timing is surgical. If you've ever tried to build something honest online, you know how fast a rumor can outrun your work. One shiny frame can make a week of effort look like an imitation. By morning, whispers sharpen into accusations. A meme account claims Naleli stole a pattern from a Pinterest board. A crop screenshot showed the patch, any patch, and calls it proof. In a corridor, Bianca reads aloud, "So now she wants to be a designer. Yeah, the Goga must be proud." Her tone slams somewhere between mock and marvel.
Mrs. Naidu calls Naledi and Tabu into the staff room. "Breathe," she says, shutting the door on the home break. "Listen to me. Optics are optics. We answer with process." She lays out a practical plan like a pattern on a table. "Tomorrow, lunchtime, 10 minutes, a sample show in the sewing lab. You lay out your pattern thesis, your stitch choices, your materials list. I will invite 2 other teachers to observe. We will document, we will demonstrate the original work. No drama, only receipts." Tabu nods. "I'll film it. Labels, dates, close-ups." Naledi exhales, grateful for a task that feels like ground. "2 conditions," Mrs. Naidu adds. 1. We brand the project clearly. No overlap with any influencer drops. 2. School policy. No learners in the sewing lab after hours without a staff member present. I can be here till 4 today, not later. Risk management is breathing on my neck after last term's hot glue gun incident. The world's risk management have a way of making big ideals feel small. Policies aren't enemies, they're fences. They just show up as walls when you're sprinting. Tabo spins up the donation page with a simple tracker and a gold bar. 50 kits by Mandela Day. He adds a paragraph. Every round counts. Receipts and distribution lists will be published after the event. Transparency isn't cute, it's currency. An email pinged from Ubuntu Outfitter, South Africa. Thanks for the video. We need proof for permits, a budget, and a distribution plan by Monday, 5 p.m. Matching up to 20,000 rand. And a lady repeats the word, proof, tasting it like a nail between teeth. We'll have it. At 15:30, they haul fabric, boxes, and the loaner machine up to the sewing lab. The corridor smells faintly of starch and floor polish. A poster of safety rules stares back at them. No unseen provide use, no islands left plug-in, report frayed cords. Through the glass, sun slants across clean tables. The lab is a promise. Mrs. Naidu checks her watch. 45 minutes, she says. We mark green lines, cut 1 panel, stitch a sample seam, we label every step. She reaches for the handle and stops. A new padlock hangs from the hasp. A laminated note flickers under it. Lab closed after 1500 pending safety review. Physical design risk. Towel leans in. But we cleared this. He rattled the padlock, jangled but frustrated. The caretaker shrugs from down the hall. After large form not signed, Wema. New rule. Talk to Mr. Mitnembu. The lady balances the lunar machine on her hip, the weight of fabric strapped violently into her shoulder. The hum of students fades as classrooms empty and the building turns hollow. Friday's sample show is claro. The room proposed to climb. The sponsor's deadline is in 4 days. The lab, the safe, bright room, has turned into a window she can't open. Her phone leans. Unknown number. She glances at the screen, hesitates, and answers. Hello? A clicked voice responds. This is Mr. Metenbu, Risk Management. I've seen your video. A bit of static. We need to discuss your access before anything else goes public.
When doors close, some work moves home. That evening, Naledi carries the loaner machine up the narrow stairs in Alexandra, while Lendunwe follows with a sack of offcuts and 3 flattened boxes marked small, medium, large. Gogo has already cleared the table and set the vintage singer by the window. The load-shedding schedule on the wall says lights out at 8. A paraffin lamp waits like a tiny sun. Mr. Mentembu's call echoes in Naledi's head. No after hours in the lab, but a supervised 10-minute demo at lunch is permissible. No power tools, minimal irons, risk log signed. Bring proof, not drama, he warned. The kind of sentence that can either help or haunt. Gogo tests the old singer's foot pedal. It's a treadle, no electricity needed, just rhythm and patience. We used to make church dresses by lamp, she saith, patting the wooden table. Your hands will remember.
Naledi smiles, rolls out the navy twill from Mr. Patel, and smooths it flat with her palms. She opens a brown grocery bag she's cut into pattern pieces and traces shapes with chalk. Front panel, back panel, pocket flap, sleeve. Simple, strong, repeatable. Lindewe becomes the inventory manager, stacking donations into piles. Wash, repair, ready. She writes with a thick marker on scrap cardboard. Shorts 30 to 34. Shirts 32 to 36. We must look organized, ne? Sponsors love a neat table. Naledi nods. And a neat seam. At 7:30, a soft knock. Mrs. Naibu stands at the door in a cardigan, hair tied back, a tote bag on her shoulder. "I can stay," she whispers, stepping into the light. "But I brought interfacing, shoulder pads, and a proper measuring tape. The exam department won't miss one clipboard." She places a small stack of blank forms on the table, a simple log for materials and learner sizes. "Paper is your friend. It calms nervous people." She squeezes Naledi's shoulder. "I'll be at the demo." The lights click off at 8. The house exhales. The paraffin lamp flickers on. Shadows grow long across the fabric. Naledi threads her needle, sets a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance by eye, and begins. The room fills with quiet sounds. The tick of the lamp glass, the soft rasp of chalk, the whisper of twill under fingers, Gogo's foot pedal pressing and lifting the treadle in a steady rhythm. The old machine hums like a memory being told again. "If we reinforce the pocket and buds tack the corners, it will last longer," Naledi says, translating instinct into method. She presses the seam open with the edge of a spoon. No iron necessary tonight. Then top stitches it flat so it won't rub. She adds a small square of interfacing behind the patch earlier, prevents sag. "If we do it like this, one patch can outlive 3 school terms." Lindewe whistles. "Haiboch, engineer." If you've ever made something from scraps, you know the intimacy of it. How your hands learn the fabric's mood, where it wants to fold, where it refuses. Constraints force invention. Often the thing you didn't plan becomes the thing you're proudest of. By 9, a prototype blazer front exists. Clean lines, strong pocket. A modest patch of darker navy stitched deliberately onto the pocket flap, not to hide a flaw, but to show a choice. She lays it next to a repaired skirt and a pair of trousers with refreshed hems. "Hero piece," Lindewe declares, catching the lamplight on the stitches. "We showed this at lunch." Morning arrives with taxi horns and a sky that can't decide if it's blue or gray. At school, the lunchtime demo sets up on a folding table in the courtyard outside the locked lab. Mrs. Naidu signs the risk log and sits an iron on a heat-proof mat, its plug snaking to a supervised socket inside the classroom. "Short presses only," she says. "No wandering hot plates." Tabo frames the scene with his phone, steady hands, microphone clipped to his collar. He films labels: pattern, cut, stitch, press. He films the clipboard with donor contact lines. He films the QR code that Tavo clunted the night before and taped to a shoebox. Scan, snap scan, EFT. He films Naleli's hands holding the prototype. He films faces, curious, skeptical, bored, amused, because faces tell you if a thing is working. Amahle arrives late, as if a show only starts while she appears. Ring light, gloss, crew. Bianca asked too loudly, "So is this a market or a museum?" Amahle smiles without mirth. "We love a community vibe," she says into her phone. "Let's see the inspiration for my collab." A few sniggers ripple, shallow and sharp. Naleli breathes and speaks. "We're making full uniforms from donations for Mandela Day. 67 minutes of sewing, sorting, and giving. This is our prototype stitch. Simple, strong, easy to teach." She turns the pocket inside out, shows the seam reinforcement, then smooths the front panel flat. "We don't hide the patch, we design it." Some students lean in, into the replacing appetite. A boy from Clayton touches the top stitch with one finger. "This is neat," he says, surprised at himself for saying it out loud. Mrs. Naidu nods. "Quality is not money, it's method." Power shifts to get a better angle as the iron hisses quietly. Aleni reaches to press the seam for a moment, lifts, checks, and sets the iron back carefully on the mat. She turns to answer a question about sizes. That's when it happens. A bottle of bleed fabric dye. From where? Tits at edge of the table. The ink rushes small letters, then blossoms across the front panel, and the dark flowers soaking the hero pocket, running into the stitches, bleeding toward the hem. Gusps punch the air. "No!" someone yells to the laces. Lindeve lunges with a stack of paper dolls. Bianca freezes, eyes wide, mouth perfectly shut. Amahle colored her lips, the picture of pity. "Oh, no, babes, shame," she says lazily. Naleri's press stops, then starts again, slower than before. For a second, the world blurs like heath above tar. You can hear three things: the soft pot of the iron resetting its heat, the flutter paper towels left them by, and towel nippers keep rolling. Mrs. Naidu moves fast, unplugs the iron, lifts the drippy panel, switches to calm command. "Back, please, get our space. Accidents happen." But her eyes scan faces, searching for intent. She knows the difference between clumsy and cruel. It's in the timing. If you've ever put your heart on a table, you know the sick drop that comes when a hand you don't control reaches across it. The piece is stained at a zigzag shape that no struck press can hide. The hero is no longer a hero, at least not in the way they planned. "Can you fix it?" a younger girl asks, genuine, hopeful. Naledi studies the dark bloom cutting through her careful trim. She could cry, she doesn't. She could shout, she won't. The patch she'd stitched last night sits under the dye like a swallowed word. She looked up at Amahle, whose perfect beauty fits too neatly on her face, and then past her to the students whose eyes aren't laughing anymore. Because what's on the table is bigger than a joke. It's work. It's proof. And now it's ruined. Naledi folds the stained panel gently, as if it was still worthy of care, and places it in the repair box. "We'll try again," she says, voice even. "That's what sewing is." She thanks the small crowd for coming, thanks Mrs. Nilden for their time, thanks Tava for filming. Lunch ends with the bell's sharp edge. As the courtyard empties, a drop of blue runs off the table and splashes onto the paving, a tiny echo of the bigger spill. Talo checks his footage. He has everything: the method, the faces, the spill. "We could post this sabotage," he says quietly. "People will rally." Now Lily watches the stain travel through the weave, making its own pattern. "Maybe," she says, "or maybe we show how we fix it." She lifts.
Some stains wash out, others draw a map. Back home in Alexandra, Naledi lays the ruined panel on the table and traces the dye bloom onto baking paper. The shape looks like the bend of London Road, like the curve of the Yuk Shea, like Alex itself. She cuts the outline in a darker navy, out a lighter blue shadow, and top stitches both layers with a bold, visible thread. Not to hide, to say we were here. Gogo watches the new patch settle over the stain like a proud scar. "Aye, that's beautiful," she murmurs. Lindiwe films a 10-second clip, stain, tracing, stitch, reveal. Naledi's caption is simple. "We don't hide the patch, we design it." Ashti Jung Elvis. #Upcycle the Future. It posts and begins to move, quietly at first, through DMs, class groups, and the teacher's Facebook page. By first period, Mrs. Naldewe is waiting outside the office with a small smile. "Come," she says. The principal gestures them in. On his desk, a screenshot of the spill, a still of Naledi's calm hands, and the new patch. He clears his throat. "Yesterday was unfortunate, but your response showed composure, skill, and purpose." He leans forward. "I'm prepared to formally support your Mandela Day initiative on one condition. We do it properly." He ticks off requirements on a notepad. Partner location, Alexandra Community Hall. Teacher supervision, safety plan, permits if needed, beneficiary list verified by grade heads, budget and donation tracking, no after-hours lab work without staff. He slides over a signed letter of intent. "Take this to the ward counselor." If you've ever had a door open after a long corridor of maybe, you know the mix of relief and new pressure. Support is generous. It also comes with homework. At lunchtime, Naledi and Tylo stand inside Alexandra Community Hall with Councillor Palesa Mapurse. Painted brick, high windows, a stage that had seen everything from weddings to funerals to church youth concerts. The councillor listens, arms folded, eyes alert. "Mandela Day is for real work," she says, "not just a show." "It's both," Naledi answers, steady. "We'll honor donors and learners on stage, then hand over full kits. We'll publish names and numbers. No waste, no politics." Councillor Mablosa walks the space with a pen, drawing boxes in the air. "Floor plan. Aisles clear. Fire exit open. 2 first aiders on duty. Maximum 200 people inside at once. Security volunteers at the door. No open flames. Sound level below at the church next door will tolerate. You'll need a letter from the school, and I'll provide one from my office. If you meet this list by Friday, the hall is yours for 67 minutes on the evening of the 18th. Tadlu glances at his phone. "Evening," he repeats, already thinking about lights, cameras, power. The councillor nods. "After work, people can come." Back outside, the winter sun sits low. Naledi texts Ugultu Outfitters SA. "School letter secured. Meeting counselor today. Patchwork now a signature. Budget and beneficiary list underway." The reply is quick. "Great progress. Send proof of your approval and safety plan by Monday. Matching up to 20,000 rand still stands." Momentum homes until Taro opens the load-shedding app. Stage 4. Black blocks filled the screen like bad news. He zooms in on the date. Wednesday, 18th July. Area Alexandra. Outage, 1800 to 2030 hours. Their perfect 67 minutes live exactly inside the dark. Lendirwe whistles. Early, of all these slots. Naledi scrolls again, hoping the numbers will share till she stares hard enough. They don't.
We can move it earlier, she says, thinking aloud. Maybe 4 p.m. Tavro shakes her head. Working parents, donors, they miss it. If you're North South Africa, you know this dance. Make a plan around the grid, or the grid make a plan around you. Batteries, inverters, phones as torches, manual machines, a railway lit by the people who believe in it. Belstro Patel replies to a voice note before he even reaches shop. He says, I have 2 treadles and 3 lanterns you can borrow, and a long extension if they plug near the stage you'll live before the cut. Didier Kelby finds a laughing voice note. Power or no power, we will make a vibe. Now lady stands on the hall stoop, looking at the wire doorway, where the community will walk in, at the floor where the runway tape will go, at the high windows that will blacken at 6 o'clock. The new patch on her sample catches the light and turns it into a line. How do you run ashore when the grid goes dark? She asks. Not to anyone, but to the air. The answer hasn't arrived yet, but the question has did. And then you, a letter, and a signature stitched over a stem, waiting for its moment, under any light.
Power goes. Plans stay. Saturday morning, Thabo spreads gear across Nalady's lounge like a field kit. 2 LED strip reels, 4 clip-on work lights, a borrowed inverter with a deep cycle battery, a handful of long extension cords, and a pack of glow tape for the runway edges. No generator inside the hole, he says, tapping the safety list Councillor Mapusa gave them. Fumes, noise, out. We keep it silent, clean, battery only. They run a test. LED strips sip power. Clip-ons brighten the table. DJ KB stops by with a portable speaker that can run on its own battery for 2 hours and a wireless mic with spare AA batteries. If the grid naps, he grins, we still groove. Mr. Patel arrives with 2 treadle machines and 3 lanterns. He tightens a belt, nods at the hum. Manuel never disappoints. Numbers time. Nalady writes on the whiteboard, goal. Then she looks at Lindiwe and makes a call. Baseline 50 full kits, a stretch target 100. She adds the real cost, about 850 rand per kit. Shirts around 120 rands, trousers 250 rands, blazer full 150 rand, and socks and extras making up the rest. That's 42,500 rands to guarantee 50, 85,000 rands if we hit 100. Thabo adds, sponsor match up to 20,000 rands from Ubuntu Outfitters SA if we show permit, a budget, and a distribution plan by Monday 5 p.m. If you've ever asked people for money, you know that clarity is kindness. Vague goals scare good donors. Specific numbers give them a handle to grab. Thabo builds a simple landing page. At the top, Upcycle the Future, 67 minutes. Below it, a live bar. Raised 9,300 rands of 42,500 rands. Baseline 50 kits. Stretch 85,000 rands. 100 kits. He lists exactly what each rand buys. 85 rands for socks and a belt. 120 rands for a shirt, 250 rands for a trousers, 450 rands for a blazer, and 850 rands for a full kit. He adds SnapScan and EFT details. He posts a PDF budget, thread, needles, laundry, transport, hall cleaning, printing. He writes, will publish receipts and a post-event list of beneficiaries, names withheld for privacy, grade and size and school provided for verification. Transparency isn't fancy, it's fuel. Naleli and Lindiwe draft an FLQ for the donation drive. What will accept? Clean uniforms and school shoes in good repair. Where to drop? School reception, 8 to 15:30, and Mr. Patel shop, 11th Avenue, 10 to 18 o'clock.
Please pre-rush if you can. We'll mend and size. She adds volunteer slots, sorting, slowing, ushering, first aid, with names of 2 certified parents already confirmed. Counselor Maposa's checklist becomes bullet points in a poster. Nothing vague, nothing hidden. By afternoon, the tracker ticks upward. 9,300 rands, 11,850 rands. A teacher's WhatsApp group pledges 3,000 rands. A Sandton parent offers 20 pairs of gently used shoes. Ubuntu Outfitters SA replies to Nalady's email. Great progress. Please send whole approval letter with stamp, safety plan, and updated budget by Monday 5 p.m. Matching up to 20,000 rands still sends. Then the screen turns against them. A screenshot starts to circulate in class groups and on the school's main page. It looks official. Council letterhead, a fuzzy stamp stating permit revoked due to safety concerns and lack of power plan. The font is wrong, the signature is misspelled, the timing is surgical. Comments flood in. Shame. Knew it. Scam? The landing page comments turn cautious. 2 EFTs pause mid-process. A DM things from Ubuntu Outfitters SA. We have seen posts that the permit was revoked. Please confirm status. We'll have to pause matching until this is clarified. Trust is lighter than paper and heavier than lead. Once it slips, every step feels uphill. Nalady's phone rings. Counselor Maposa. Nalady, she says, voice calm but clipped. Have you shared any council documents publicly? Just the support letter, Mom, with your name and date. Good, the counselor says, because that screenshot is frayed, but it's spreading. Here's what we do. You send me your safety plan tonight. Grouse limit, exits, first aiders, no generator inside the hall, power backup details, and your floor plan sketch. I'll send an official confirmation letter with my stand on Monday morning. Until then, do not argue and comment. Post only facts you can prove. But there's already nothing slides. Slide 1. Status. Elant confirm. Venue Alexandra Community Hall. Date 18 July, time 18 to 1707. Slide 2. Power plan. LED lighting, battery inverter, 12 machines, and no generator. Slide 3. Safety. 2 first aiders, 2 dormouses, backs 200 inside, and exits clear. Slide 4. Verification. Counselor's office letter to be posted Monday. Will people wait till Monday? Lindiole asks, watching the donation balls flow. Some will, says Nalady softly. Some won't, but the ones who care about the work will read. Thebar hits a post. Comments argue below. The slide is like 2 radio stations playing at once. The DM from the sponsor is unanswered for a beat and then thinks again. We'll wait for the vision letter on Monday. Keep sending updates. It's Saturday night. Monday is close and far at the same time. Between now and then sits a safety plan that must convince a ward office, a tracker that must move, and a rumor that must stop moving before it crashes the building.
Monday morning, the rumor meets a stamp. Counselor Polisa Maposa posts an official letter on ward letterhead. Event confirmed. Alexandra Community Hall, 18 July, 18 through 1907. Safety plan acknowledged. No generator permitted. Battery lighting approved. Naledy reposts with 3 words. Facts, see you. The donation bar exhales and begins to climb again. 12,450. 15,900, 19,200. Ubuntu Outfitters SA replies, matching reinstated, awaiting final budget by 1,700. By mid-afternoon, the hall unlocks for dress rehearsal. Painted brick, echoing steps, a faint smell of polish and dust. Tabo tapes a bright line of glow tape down the center, runway from door to stage, and clips 2 LED strips to truss poles. Mr. Patel wheels in 2 treadle machines, oils one, tests the belt with a satisfied nod. DJ KB arrives late, grinning, portable speaker slung across his chest. Chick 1 2, he sings. The
The wireless mic pops to life. Gogo takes a seat near the sewing table, symbol on her finger, proud and quiet. Lingdiwe sets up 3 labeled stations, sorting, repairs, ready. Cardboard boxes marked small, medium, large, stack neatly by the stage. A printed banner reads, Upcycle the Future, 67 minutes, with a QR code pinned to the corner. On another board, Naledi has written, Target 50 kits baseline, stretch 100, RA 850, approximately 1 kit. Counselor Maposa walks the perimeter with a pen like a conductor. Exits clear, first day table here, maximum 200 inside at once, she says, ticking each item off Naledi's plan. No open flames, battery lights only, 2 marshals at the door, and this, she taps the taped runway, must stay open, no loitering. If there is load shedding at 6, Tabo adds, pointing to the inverter, we have 90 minutes of battery at half power. Phones can add torches if needed. The counselor nods. Good. Then Wednesday we make a plan. She signs the last page of the safety plan. The pen lifts like a blessing. Bianca slips in through the side door with a plastic laundry bag. She's my cousin's old shirts, she says, not meeting anyone's eyes. They're clean. She hovers, watching the work move like a machine. Measure, fold, label, stack. It's organized, she offers, as if surprised. Naledi thanks her. The thanks lands. Something in Bianca's jaw loosens. A line of learners volunteers as models, laughing, jittery, proud in borrowed blazers. KBQ's a mellow track. Tabo calls work, turn, pause, return. Naledi times the route, checks the spacing, tweaks the order. Gogo claps once, quietly, and the sound echoes in the high rafters like a promise. Near the wings, a black garment bag lies across the chair. Naledi's showpiece blazer inside it, the bold patch stitched like a map over the old stain. Tucked in the front pocket is the donor name panel, a canvas banner where "Thank you" is printed in big letters, and space is left for names of everyone who gave. More than fabric is zipped up there. It's the story. If you've ever organized something fragile, you know how a small object can carry a heavy meaning. Lose the bag, and you don't just lose a jacket. You lose trust you haven't even finished earning. The run-through hits its stride. The counselor checks her watch. It looks good, she says. See you Wednesday. She leaves with a firm handshake and a reminder. Doors open at 17:45. Keep it tight. As she goes, Tabo resets cameras, and Lindiwe leads the models off the stage. Naledi turns toward the chair to pull the hero out for a last-minute press. The chair is empty. She blinks, glances at the floor, checks under the folding table. Nothing. Linz, where's the bag? Then Diwe points to the chair without looking. There. Then she looks. Wait, it was there. Mr. Patel looks up from a ham he's fixing. Which bag? KB shrugs, palms open. Not me. Gogo stands slowly, eyes moving from face to door. The side door sits on its latch, a wedge of winter light leaking in. The lady's chest tightens. Tallboy, check the back, she says, voice too calm. He jogs behind the stage, scans the wings, the statues, the tiny storerooms that smells of old paint. Empty. Outside, a minibus idles at the curb for a beat too long, then pulls off at the hiss of brakes. Lindiwe runs to the door and peeks down the street. I saw someone with a black bag earlier. Hoodie, kept down. I thought it was a DJ. Tabo flips open his horn and looks to the spaza across the road. There's a camera above the till, pointed toward the house door. He meets Naledi's eyes. If it's through the entrance, ask, Naledi says, in already moving, now. But the hall supervisor rattles keys. We have to close by 5:30. Lord setting at 6, you can't leave lights on. The donation bar on the poster sets at 21,350 and change. The hero piece is gone. The donor names are zipped in with it. If you have ever felt a plan slip through your fingers, you know the exact call that follows. It starts in your hands and moves to your voice. Naledi grits the empty chair and says to no one and everyone, we find it before Wednesday. The clock over the stage clicks to 15:29. The hall lights blink once, twice, as if to say, hurry. Then the supervisor reaches for the switches and the room falls into early evening.
The spaza owner rewinds the footage with a fingertip and a frown. Grainy black and white fills a small monitor, the hall door framed like a stage. At 17:22, a hoodie slips out carrying a long black garment bag. The camera isn't fancy, but it catches habits, how someone walks, how they look over a shoulder. The bag dips once, twice. Can you zoom? Tabo asks. A little, says Bratemba, tapping the keyboard. The image bumps closer. A logo flashes as the person passes a neon poster, a small S on the sleeve, Sabela Streetwear. The hoodie hands the bag to a second figure by the curb. The second figure turns just enough to catch a profile, cap low, a tiny hoop earring, a scar along the jaw. Bianca leans in, breath held. Naughty, she whispers. That's Amalek's cousin. He drives her to shoot sometimes. If you've ever pulled on the end of a loose thread, you know the mix of dread and relief when the fabric starts to move. Small lies rarely stay small. They gather helpers. Outside, late afternoon wind pushes wrappers along the pavement. The sky has the metallic taste of a cold front rolling in from the south. Naledi, Tabo, and Lindwiwe spot Nati at the taxi rank, leaning on a white hatchback, scrolling his phone. Bianca hangs back, then steps forward, voice wobbling, but clear. Nati! He looks up, freezes, calculates. Ish, what now? We just want the bag, Naledi says. No shouting, no threats, just a fact placed carefully on the ground between them. It was taken from the hall. I was keeping it safe, he shrugs, eyes sliding away. Amarechles yet besa collab. People steal ideas. She told me hold it till after Wednesday, no harm. Keeping it safe by taking it? Tabo asks, holding his tone flat. Brood, there's CCTV, per. Timestamp, your drawer, the handover. We're not here to fight. We're here to finish what we promised the community. He bristles. You lot act like saints, always making a noise about little cloth. Meanwhile, some of us hustle the real game. Real game is showing up with names and numbers when you say you will. Please, the donor list is in that bag. Kids are on the stage. Give it back. For a moment, he balances pride against proof. Then he exhales long. It's in the boot, he mutters. He pops the hatch. No bag. His face tightens. Oh, man, I put it behind the shop while I went in for airtime. They jog to the alley behind the spaza. A corrugated awning cuffs a thin line of rother. Winter isn't supposed to rain in Joburg, but the first shy drops of a cold front prick the dust. The bag lies in a shallow puddle, half under the awning, half in the open. The silk glistens. Water has crept in along the teeth. Lindwiwe scoops it up. It feels heavier than before. She unzips
the showpiece blaze resoaked, the bold map patch bleeding at the edges like ink on a page. The donor name panel is worse. Canvas smudged, some names still legible, others drifting into gray. Yo, Bianca breathes, hand on her mouth. I should have said something. Naledi presses the panel flat against the car bonnet, raindrops freckling the ink. She photographs the legible names before they fade further. We'll redraw the smudged ones from the bank statements, Tabo says, already composing a post in his head. We'll ask donors to DM their references in spelling. Nati shifts from foot to foot, shame flaring into anger, then back again. I didn't mean... You just, Naledi says, quietly. Next time, choose better. She doesn't add anything sharp, no victory lap, just a line he can step over if he wants to. They hustle the bag back to the hall. Mr. Patday lays the blizzard on a table, pats water away with clean towels, and sets a lantern close for warmth. No iron, he warns. We don't cook the glue. Air and patience. Gogo fans the donor panel with a piece of cardboard, lips moving as she reads aloud the names that survived. We'll rewrite them, she says. We always rewrite what was smudged. Tuesday blurs, washing, drying, restitching the bleeding edges of the patch so its story stays clear. By Wednesday afternoon, the hall hums with the calm before a storm. The glow tape runway is brighter, the LED strips are clipped and tested, the battery inverter shows 4 green lights. The first aiders sign in. Counselor Maposa checks exits with her pen like a wand. Outside, the cold front snaps flags and shakes the jacarandas. A drizzle begins, soft, needling, more whispered than rain. People arrive with quotes and umbrellas, scanning QR codes, dropping clean shirts into boxes. The donation bar on the posta creeps upper live. 29,400 rand, 32,250 rand, 36,800 rand. At 15:71, KB fists the mic. Check 1, 2. The worm answers with a ripper. Tabo the lines like his shot, phones plugged to a power bank. Naledi smooth the rebel blazer, now even more bold, edges sealed with new stitches like veins. Her phone buzzes. A notification from Eskom Sepush. Stage change. Due to emergency generation shortfall, stage 5 from 6-hour Lisro. Some areas will be expected earlier. Tabo reads it the same second. His eyes flick to the unmeritor. We're okay, he says. We planned for 6. He checked the time. 15:76. Counselor Mapusa raises a hand for quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, voice carrying in half space. Welcome to... The lights blink once, twice. The crowd. Not at 6, at 5:58. For a heartbeat, the room holds its breath. The drinkle taps harder on the hall windows. KB speaker is in back shape on a resto table. The LED strips off, they were waiting for the cue. Somewhere a child whispers, "Hi, man." If you'll ever fix a moment's sleep, you'll know this hush. The kind that asks you, are you ready to lead in the dark? Naledi twitches for the inverter switch. Cabo's finger hovers over like torch icon. The hall is it like tangle filled with warm bodies and one step in front. Then the room inhales together. On the night presses close. When to see who speaks first.
For a heartbeat, the hall is night. Then Naledi finds the inverter switch by feel, and flicks it on. A soft blue hum. 2 LED strips wake along the runway edges like riverbanks finding themselves in the dark. Thabo raises his phone torch. "Phone's up, please," he calls, voice steady. "If you've got battery, help us make our runway." Lights bloom in the crowd, hundreds of small suns. DJ KB taps his portable speaker. A warm bass line rolls out on battery power, gentle and confident. "Alex, are we still here?" He grins. The Alex answers with a ripple of "Yeah, boy!" Counselor Paleza Maposa lifts a hand. "Exits clear? Marshals, eyes on the doors," she says, calm in the dark. "We carry on." Gogo nods once from the sewing table, thimbles shining in lantern light. Mr. Patel turns a treadle with his foot, the old machine humming like a heartbeat. No plugs, no problem. "Walkers, ready!" Thabo whispers to the first line of learners. The glow tape catches their steps. The first model moves, uniform crisp, a bald patch stitched where a tear once lived. The crowd inhales. The second follows, then the third. Each piece carries a name the lady chose with care. The London Road blazer, the 12th Avenue trousers, the Hothmere Street skirt. Streets from Alex sewn into dignity. Phones tilt, not to mock, but to guide. Someone murmurs, "Hi, boy, that's stitching." Another, "My sister missed school last term because of shoes." The runway becomes a conversation without words. Hands, fabric, breath. On the stage, Thabo props a small LED monitor on the inverter. A live donation tracker glows in soft blue. 36,800 rand, 39,450 rand, 41,200 rand. SnapScan pings like quiet rain. A parent lifts a laminated QR code on a stick so the back rows can scan. A church group in the corner nudges each other and nods. "We'll do 2,000 rand," one says more to herself than anyone else. KB lowers the music and lets the room hear its own heart. The lady steps into the aisle in her repaired blazer, the same one that trended for the wrong reason. The bold map patch catches light, edge is sealed, story clear. She takes the mic. "If you grew up here, you know the sound of coins counted twice. You know a small tear can feel louder than your name. You know how a price tag can decide whether you show up." She looks over the crowd. Teachers, grannies, cousins, prefects, drivers still in jackets from the cold. A uniform isn't just cloth. It's attendance, it's confidence, it's "I am part of this." We're not hiding patches anymore. We are designing them because our repairs are part of our story. A hush settles, thick listening. The monitor ticks again. 42,500 rand. A small cheer, the bass line. Then it climbs. 45,700 rand. 51,900 rand. Thabo swallows and keeps filming. Lindwe lines up the first stack of ready kits at the stage stairs. Complete sets tied with twill tape and tagged with sizes. Counselor Maposa stepped forward with a clipboard. "We have verified beneficiaries from 3 schools. Tonight we start with 10 grade 8s who've been staying home. As donations land, the list grows." She gestures to the side door. A line of younger learners waits with a quiet hope you can feel more than see. Gogo smiles through tears she doesn't wipe. KB cues a soft drum line. One by one, the first 10 collect their kits under the phone's star sky. The crowd claps, not loud, but steady. It sounds like sewing. Stitch, stitch, stitch.
holding something together. A notification pings on Thao's screen. He flashes it to the lady. Two outfitters' essay is posted on their page. Matching confirmed 20,000 rand to Upcycle the Future. Keep going. The monitor jumps. 71,900 rand. 76,300 rand. Another ping. A Sandton company pledges 25,000 rand knife, naming the donation in memory of a grandmother who sewed her whole life. 101,300 rand. The room shifts like a wave standing up before it breaks. Nalani breathes, almost forgetting to do so. She lifts the mic again. To everyone who laughed at a patch, thank you, she says, smiling just enough. You made us choose to stand here. To everyone who scanned, carried, watched, cut, stitched, ushered, opened doors, you made us more. Thabo tilts the camera toward the back wall as the blue numbers tick higher. 109,850 rand. 113,200 rand. 117,850 rand. The hall goes very quiet, the way a crowd does when they realize they're watching history that belongs to them. Another scan, another pledge. 119,400 rand. 120,000 rand. Silence, not for lack of joy, but because joy sometimes runs out of words. Even KB's hand drops from the fader. Even the kids who mock the punch lower their phones, faces open in the glow. In the quiet, you can hear small things. The treadle's soft churn, a child's breath hitch. Thabo's camera stabilize. Nalady lowers her eyes, then looks up with a gratitude that fills the dark like light. Alex, thank you. The room answers not with a roar, but with something gentler. Palms meeting palms, a rhythm that carries and swells until it becomes the sound of a community deciding the story it wants to tell. The marshals dab eyes. The counselor nods once, satisfied. Mr. Patel presses a steam frat with his hand, as if smoothing the night itself. As applause ebbs, a shape moves at the aisle's edge. Someone steps forward, shoulders squared, but hands shaking, a face lit by 100 phone torches. The mic waits between them like a choice. And before anyone speaks, the room halts its breath again, ready to hear what comes next.
The shape at the aisle's edge steps into the phone light. It's a Malay. Her chin is up, but her hands shake. She takes the mic from the lady and holds it like a fragile thing. I was wrong, she says, voice small but clear. I made jokes that hurt. I told my cousin to hold the garment bag because I didn't want this to happen without me. I thought I could control the story. And the dye, that was my idea. I'm sorry. To you, Naleli. To everyone. Silence doesn't always mean anger. Sometimes it means the room is choosing what to do next. Naledi nods once, the kind of nod that accepts, not excuses. She reaches for a kit tied with twilled tape and places it in Amalé's hands. Help us give the first 10, she says. Amale blinks, startled, then exhales and steps to the stage stairs. Together, they pass uniform bundles to shy grade 8s, whose eyes shine and the phone glow. A boy whispers, "Thank you," into his collar. A girl hugs her package like it might fly away. Counselor Palesa Maposa returns to the mic. Tonight isn't just about money. It's about how a community chooses to behave when it is tested. She lifts a printed sheet.
Final tally for this evening, 120,000 rands on the dot with matching included. A quiet wave of joy rolls through the hall. This funds a minimum of 120 full kits, plus repairs on dozens more from donated pieces. A full list of beneficiaries by grade and size, not names, will be posted within a week. Tapo points to the small LED monitor where the number sits steady in soft blue, round 120,000. He catches Naneli's eye and grins like a secret has kept its promise. Lindilwe wipes up her face with the back of her hand, laughing at herself for crying. Near the sewing table, Mr. Patel clears his throat. From Monday, my shop on 12th Avenue keep a uniform bank shelf, belts, socks, buttons, at cost for any learner with a school ID. Drop-offs welcome. We'll mend while you wait. He taps the treadle with his foot for emphasis. The room claps. Some people whoop. Gogo beams proudly, Thinwell flashing under lantern light. Bianca ellies forward with the familiar black bag, now dry. "Now, lady," she says, voice careful, "I took this home to clean it. There was a second zip inside." She pulls out a small plastic sleeve, sealed tight, with a folded page inside. Grovel's careful handwriting fills it. Back up down the list, the lady reads it, smiling. Golgo always keeps a copy. Names, amounts, and reference numbers line the page. Ink intact. The room laughed softly. The relieved kind of laugh they only hear when a risk has passed. A message pings on double screen. He flashes it at Nalele. Ubuntu Outfitters S.A. We'd like to meet Nalele and Mrs. Naidu about a small internship and ongoing support for Upcycle the Future. Proud to play a part. The lady kisses her lips together, trying not to grin too hard. She looks over at Mrs. Naidu, whose eyes are bright and steady. "Paperwork, Nkaro," the teacher says, smiling. Counselor Mapulso steps back with his certificate. Alexandra Ward Commendation, the head in village. She hands it to Naleli and Golgol together. For service on Mandela Day, 67 minutes that will last far longer. The hall clapped again. Longer now, they sound like rain on a warm roof. As it curled fiend, volunteers stacked chairs and piled cables. The inventor's light still showed 2 barns, thrown charged on a power bank like small tired birds. The glow tape runway peels up in clean lines. Now Lily and the Mali collect scraps into a bin marked offcuts. "I'll help on sorting these," Molly says quietly, looking down. "No cameras, just work." The lady nods. "Tuesday afternoons, you're welcome. It's not a friendship, not yet, but it's not a fuel anymore." Outside on 12th Avenue, trees are tapped gently on umbrellas. Parents start to teachers, a taxi hoots twice. A man scans a QR code one time before the poster counts down. The numbers don't move now, but the faces do. Lighter than they arrived. Tabu and the lady stand under the house overhang and watch Alex breathe. "You out-edited my best shot," he says, half seriously. "You stitched a better ending than I could cut." She laughs softly. "You still film the light," she says, "even when they'll want any." Goron loops her arm through Lanedis and says, "Hold, my child. Tomorrow we count, then we throw." Mr. Patel shakes Table's hand and promises spare blades for the roller we cut it. DJ KB tucks the wireless mic in his bag and waves 2 fingers. "Same time next year?" "Every turn," Lindila shoots back. "We're building a calendar." By the time the hall doors close, a new notice escapes till the gate. "Uniform tank. Drab here reaches El Adrian 1535. Sewing night, there's Tuesday monthly, fall or silverty 18 or 7 set. The bold patch on Helen's plate will catch the street light and looks like a map again of where she's from and where this will go. If you ever felt small because of a price tale or a tear, remember this night. Patches can be desire. Repairs can be story, and communities can be louder than rumors when they choose to be. We're doing another 67 minutes next month. If this were your street, your school, your hall, what will you bring to the table?